Today, we take a look at some bands and artists that played the Vans Warped Tour before they were big and famous. Let's check it. For those of you that don't know, the Vans Warped Tour is a traveling summer rock tour that's been around since 1995. It's the largest traveling music festival in the United States and the longest running music festival in North America. Every summer since 1995, over 100 bands, skaters, and performers travel across the US together on this tour. It's the one place where you can walk from stage to stage and see hip-hop, punk, folk, and metal all in one day and numerous times. It's hot, it's sweaty, it's dirty. It's the one thing that most punk rockers look forward to in the summer. It's also a place where a lot of up-and-coming bands can get some street cred, as well as rub elbows with already established bands. It's crazy to think that bands like Avenged Sevenfold actually played the smaller side stages back in the day, only to blow up a few months later and end up touring with Metallica, which is why we're here today. We take a look back at some of the biggest acts to ever grace the Vans Warped Tour stage. First with some honorable mentions. First up, Dick Dale. The late great Dick Dale, who we know best for his song Misirlou? Misirlou. Hey Google, how do you pronounce Misirlou?
That's pronounced Misirlou.
I was right. From Guitar Hero 2, showcases legendary surf guitar skills at the 1996 Vans Warped Tour. He was already 60 years old at the time, touring with bands like 311, Face to Face, and NoFX, just to name a few. Sublime, the reggae ska punk trio known as Sublime, toured the very first Vans Warped Tour back in 1995. They were one of the first picks for the tour by owner and founder Kevin Lyman, along with bands like Guttermouth, Face to Face, and No Use for a Name. Papa Roach, the band who formed in 1993 and had a breakout single in 2000 called Last Resort, actually played the Vans Warped Tour in 2000, the same year that song was released. The band went on to be nominated for a Grammy that year for Best New Artist, and in 2001 with another Grammy nomination for Best Music Video for the video Broken Home. Mushroomhead, the masked men from Cleveland, Ohio, whose name comes from a penis joke, donned the Warped Tour stage in 1996. The band has been easily compared in the past to fellow masked musicians Slipknot, and fans of either band have always argued who actually put on the mask first. Argue that out in the comments below. Joan Jett. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Joan Jett and her band the Black Hearts played the cross-country Vans Warped Tour not once, but twice, in 2006 and in 2017. She loves punk rock festivals so much she played 2 years, even after being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And now it's time for the list and stuff. There are 15 bands on this list, and in no particular order, except for my, wow, I can't believe they were on this Warped Tour list order. Yeah, let's just get to the list. Godsmack, the all-rock band who formed the year the Warped Tour began in 1995, got on the tour only a few short years later in 1998. The Warped Tour in the 90s had a diverse sound, ranging from bands like Blink-182 and MXPX to bands like the Deftones and 311. That same year gave birth to bands like Godsmack and Stained, who also played the Vans Warped Tour, giving us that alt-rock vibe that we all know and love. It was a little sprinkle of everything at the time. Speaking of bands that remind us of the 90s, let's talk about Limp Bizkit, who played both the 1996 and 1997 Vans Warped Tour. The bands were the poster boys of the nu metal phase in the mid to late 90s, fronted by none other than Fred Durst. Everyone knows those songs that exploded in the 90s, Nookie and Rollin'. It was The Undertaker's theme song, man. Sugar Ray. During the same era when Limp Bizkit were blowing up, another band, known as Sugar Ray, was also making headway and who also played the 1997 Vans Warped Tour. The band blew up with songs like Fly and Every Morning Someday. You can check out lead singer Mark McGrath these days on Extra, Hollywood TV News, and Universal Studios. Juliette Lewis and the Licks. Famed actress Juliette Lewis toured the 2005 Vans Warped Tour with her band Juliette Lewis and the Licks. The actress had already achieved Hollywood status with films like Natural Born Killers, From Dusk Till Dawn, long before she stepped on a Warped Tour stage. The band has been on an indefinite hiatus since 2009, but has recently tweeted back in May of 2018 that they might be doing some stuff and are in the studio again. No Doubt. Before being married to Blake Shelton, winning a ton of Grammy Awards, having a solo career, and being a judge on The Voice, Gwen Stefani played in a little band called No Doubt, which was actually pretty big. The band had a ton of hits like Trapped in a Box and Hey Baby, and graced the Warped Tour stage 2 years. First during its inception in 1995, as well as 5 years later in the year 2000. It'd be awesome to see this band do some stuff in the future, but since they're on and off again hiatus in 2013, doesn't look likely anytime soon. Cassidy Pope, Speaking of Blake Shelton, before this singer-songwriter was coached by him on The Voice, and went on to win the CMT Music Awards, touring with bands like Rascal Flatts and Tim McGraw. Cassie Pope was the front woman of a pop-punk band known as Hey Monday. The band toured the festival in 2010 while touring their debut full-length album, Hold On Tonight, which was signed under Pete Wentz of Fall Out Boy's label, Decade Dance Records. The Pretty Reckless. If you don't know who the Pretty Reckless is, you might know who Taylor Momsen is. You might remember her as the cute little Who in the 2000 live-action adaptation of How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. 10 years later, and this is that little Who. It's not surprising to me that this band played the Vans Warped Tour, given the alternative nature of their music and overall attitude. But it does make one like myself feel pretty old, giving the nostalgic feel of these two pictures right here. Machine Gun Kelly. That's right, everyone's favorite rap devil MGK played the Vans Warped Tour in 2012. Who would have thought at the time that this young rapper would go on to not only achieve musical success, but movie success as well, appearing in the 2019 Motley Crue documentary, The Dirt. He played Tommy Lee, as well as the 2018 Netflix movie with Sandra Bullock, Bird Box. Ice-T. Before he was a detective on Law & Order SVU, the hip-hop legend rocked out the 1999 Vans Warped Tour with his band Body Count, as well as appearing 10 years later on the 2009 15th Anniversary Celebration DVD for the Vans Warped Tour, where he performed and discussed his time on the road during the tour. Pharrell Williams. Before he was a chair on The Voice, produced some of the biggest names in the game, including Jay-Z, Justin Timberlake, Ed Sheeran, and Destiny's Child, just to name a few. Pharrell Williams was in a band called Nerd, N-E-R-D, who debuted their album In Search Of, while playing at the 2002 Vans Warped Tour, with other acts like Alkaline Trio, Good Charlotte, and Newfound Glory on the bill, just to name a few. Katy Perry. The same year that the song I Kissed a Girl blew up off of Katy Perry's second studio album, One of the Boys, in 2008, the singer also played her very first and very last Vans Warped Tour. It's crazy to think that she stage dived and was crowd surfing on the side stages of the Warped Tour long before winning Grammys, being a judge on American Idol, and having that beef with Taylor Swift that I guess they just mended stuff with. Mike Posner. Shortly after the song Cooler Than Me blew up, Mike Posner hit the Warped Tour stage in 2010 with his, at the time, one-hit wonder track. The singer later went on to dominate that song on the Billboard charts with his more popular song, I Took a Pill in Ibiza. I love that song. Kid Rock. The American badass himself played the Vans Warped Tour in 1998 alongside fellow alt-rockers Hatebreed, Godsmack, and Stained, just to name a few. This was right around the time when his critically acclaimed album, Devil Without a Cause, blew up and hit radio with songs like Ball with the Ball and Cowboy. The Black Eyed Peas. The hip-hop phenomenon known as the Black Eyed Peas played the Vans Warped Tour in 1999. The band at the time was a pre-Fergie era, and she didn't join the band until 2002, where the band then revamped their image and their sound. But at the time, it was still the three core of them, man. And last but not least, Eminem. That's right, Slim Shady himself. Played the Vans Warped Tour in 1999, who actually toured his multi-platinum Slim Shady LP, which was like not known at all at the time. If you don't know, that was the album with the song My Name Is, which peaked at 36 on Billboard and won a Grammy that year for Best Rap Album. Pretty insane. Hey guys, did you like the list? For me, this is pretty crazy. To look back and see where all of these bands got their start, as the band Real Friends stated in a tweet, your favorite band was a local band. Find local bands in your area and go to their shows. It's so important. It's what I take away from all of this. Even the biggest artists like Katy Perry had once played the side stages. And even the biggest acts like Eminem had shit thrown at him on stage while he was performing. You never know who's going to be the next big thing. So go support local acts. And this is also why I love what I do. Without getting too preachy, guys, I'm going to end today's video. Don't forget to stay warped and stay pop punk. Let's roll the outro. Hey guys, now that we're at the end of the video, thank you for commenting, and subscribing. You can check out daily blogs on the poppunkdad.com, which features daily reviews and interviews from awesome bands. Head on over to the Pop Punk Dad official merch shop where you can buy cool things like that right there. It helps the channel out and lets me know that you love me. I have a weekly podcast called the Pop Punk Dadcast, which is on SoundCloud and iTunes now. Please subscribe. While you're at it, cruise around and check out other content on this channel. You can check out all my social medias, my IG, my FB, and my Twitter, at the Pop Punk Dad. And above all else, guys, stay pop punk. Later.